Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming today. The last time I gave this session, it was an hour and a half. So when Eric asked me to do a half an hour, I'm like, I could talk about this for days. So let's see how this goes. I'm really excited. So let me start everybody off with a question first. All right. So thank you all for coming, but let's start with a question. What are some of the biggest barriers your students face in getting and keeping a job? So think about it for a second. I'm going to give you the answers here, at least the answers that I think, but tell me if some of these resonate with you as well. Or some of the things you were thinking about: communication, reliability, attitude, adaptability. Let me ask you another question too. How many of you have ever had a colleague or a supervisor who was just awesome to work with? Now, I know not all of you can work with Joe Marcus at Mercer County Community College like I do, but just take a few minutes and just take a moment, because we can't have a few minutes here. Just take a moment and think about that. Did they listen to you? Were they great listeners? Were they calm under pressure? Were they fair? Were they able to motivate people and handle conflict well? So if you notice something interesting about all of the answers that we gave, none of us, not one, at least if what we were thinking, talked about or thought about hard or technical skills. Most of the things that we talked about or listed were soft skills. So what's the difference between hard skills and soft skills? So we really need to learn this and grasp this if we're going to really talk about soft skills and how important they are. So, oh, I went too fast. This is my favorite part of the thing. This is my favorite part of the presentation. First of all, I love this guy. He makes me happy every time I see him. So I put him in all of my slideshows. But this is one of my favorite parts of my presentation, where I get to talk a little bit about me. So my name is Ray Agliotta, and I love doing these cold openings because they're fun. And I am an educator, an author, which we're going to talk about as we go on here, and an entrepreneur. I am currently the Associate Director of Adult Education at Mercer County Community College, and I spend almost all of my time on the Trenton campus, on the Kearney campus, which is located in downtown Trenton, New Jersey, which I absolutely love. Almost every job I've ever had has been on the same street in Trenton, New Jersey. That's just a fun fact. I am a graduate of Montclair State University, but I also just recently earned my master's degree in education from Rutgers. I see Michelle Obermeyer on the thing here. She was a fellow student at Rutgers with me. So we did it together. That is not AI generated, like my children asked me if my certificate was AI generated. It is not. I actually graduated from Rutgers, which was cool. I serve on the Mercer County Workforce Development Board, and I am chairman of the Literacy Committee. And here I am with our county executive, Dan Benson, and of course, my boss, Joe Marcus, who I like to put in as many pictures as I can when I am doing presentations. I also am lucky enough to serve on the board of NJALL. So thank you all for coming today. I absolutely love NJALL. I am relatively a new member of the board of directors, but I serve on the advocacy committee, which is one of the most important committees that we could serve on, because adult ed truly needs advocacy. And I will give a shout out to Eric, who has and Jessica, who have worked tirelessly along with the other board members to advocate for adult education, especially with all the crazy thing that's going on as well. And also, I serve on the board development committee. So if you are interested in joining us at NJALL, please let me know, and I will love to speak to you and guide you to Eric or Jessica to discuss, or Christian, to discuss potentially joining us here at NJALL. And like many of our students, I have had many careers. I was a bail bondsman, which was great. I worked in the insurance industry. And one of my favorite jobs was I was a director of Habitat for Humanity. It was absolutely great. And that's one of my favorite pictures. And I also do a lot of things. I play 300 live shows as a guitar player in my younger age. And I do some other fun mountain races and all this other crazy stuff. But what does this all have to do with soft skills? It has absolutely nothing to do with soft skills. I just wanted to talk about myself for a little bit. If we had an hour and a half, I have about 5 more slides that I blocked out. But I just like having fun. I am also the author of these 2 future literary classics, Skillful Living Now, Soft Skills Handbook, which we're going to talk about a lot during our presentation here, and my new book, Skillful Living Now, Lead Human, which is about soft skills and an AI generation. All right, enough about me. Let's get on. Let's get this going. Let's talk about soft skills. So, in a LinkedIn report cited by Forbes magazine, recruiters say when a hire doesn't work out, it usually comes down to a lack of soft skills. I was very shocked by this. Usually, you get it in there, you get the job, and our students or people in the workforce struggle to keep the job due to a lack of soft skills. And if you need proof of this, rock and roll legend Slash, guitar player for Guns N' Roses, he also believes the exact same thing. And he says you have to be able to work with people even when it's not easy. Thank you very much to Slash for telling us that. And it is absolutely true. Profound words on conflict resolution. Now you got to be sitting there and you have to be saying, Ray, what are these mythical, magical skills that you're talking about? What are these things? You told us all about you. We talked about the guitar player for Guns N' Roses. What are these things? So, as we're diving into this, we have to learn the difference between 2 sets of skills. What are hard skills and what are soft skills? Hard skills are easy. Hard skills are specific to your job, like a carpenter using a hammer or a saw, or a computer programmer entering code. Those are hard skills. Easiest thing to remember is a carpenter. He knows how to use a hammer. He knows how to build a house. He knows how to use a saw. Those are hard skills. Those are technical skills. But soft skills are different. See, I put a little fish there. He's different than everybody else because he has really, really good soft skills. Soft skills are the skills that make you you. Let's get some good examples. Problem solving is a very, very important soft skill. It's actually one of the most important soft skills that we could teach our students. I have no idea what problem this man is solving, but because I failed geometry twice in high school, but problem solving is a really, really important soft skill. Communication is another important soft skill. And this is also great confidence here as well, too. But communication, verbal and nonverbal communication are important soft skills. How about leadership? Leadership is a great soft skill as well, too. And I always like to use this slide because you can see he's given a great speech and everybody claps, just like when we give meetings here in adult ed. Everybody always claps and says, man, this is great. Leadership is a great and important soft skill. But soft skills are some of the most important skills that you can learn. All right. Soft skills are the skills that make us career ready. And I normally have a slide that has someone climbing up the career ladder. But I was recently at a presentation where we were talking about the career ladder and the individuals from ETS, and he said, our students really don't climb a career ladder at first. They climb a career rock wall. So many of our students struggle. Many of our students have, whether it's an issue at home, grad school 101, the first thing they teach you in adult ed is all adult students bring a lot to the table. They bring a lot to the classroom. And it's like a rock wall. Sometimes you're able to climb up it easily, and sometimes it's really, really difficult. But I thought that analogy was great. Soft skills are transferable from job to job in any industry. It doesn't matter if you are an air conditioned HVAC guy, or you are a school teacher, or you are a doctor. It doesn't matter. Soft skills are transferable from job to job in any industry. And they are exactly what employers are looking for in a new hire now. I spoke to, when I initially wrote my first book, I spoke to multiple hiring employers in different HR departments, and soft skills was one of the more important things that we spoke about. So I'm excited, and I'm always excited. But are you excited to learn more about soft skills? Do you want to find out more? Absolutely. That's why we're all here, and soft skills are so important. So I identified 10 of the most sought after soft skills, try to say that 3 times, that hiring managers are looking for everywhere. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, I wrote this book, hint, hint, wink, wink. It's for sale on Amazon. So the first of the 10 is attitude. I always look at attitude as the cornerstone of soft skills. Whether you have a good attitude or a bad attitude towards something, your attitude not only affects you, but your attitude also affects everyone around you. And I'm sure we can all think about examples of that. The second is attendance. And when I was writing the book, I thought to myself, attendance, that's really, really interesting. But being on time every time. And it's one of the most important things that hiring managers, people on our workforce development board here at Mercer County thought about. And many, many times I heard the same line from business owners. I could teach someone the skill. I could teach someone how to do that specific job, but I can't teach them how to be there on time. I can't teach them how to stay late if necessary. Attendance, a key soft skill. Appearance is another one. How you dress matters. And I always use the example of a restaurant and having waiters with dirty aprons. And I say that's it. Those people, those individuals have absolutely horrible soft skills, whether it's them or their manager or leader, which we'll talk about in a few moments. But appearance is a key soft skill. It is very, 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 very important. Next is confidence. Confidence matters, and confidence is a very, very interesting soft skill, which also, like leadership, is made up of all of our other soft skills. So when our students are confident, when they are confident in knowing their subject matter, when they are confident in learning, whether it's GED or ESL, or they're taking an IET class to learn how to be a phlebotomist, confidence is a key soft skill. Leadership. So leadership is one of those soft skills that is made up of all the other soft skills. Okay. And EI, which we'll talk about in a moment, emotional intelligence, is a really, really large part of the soft skill of leadership. Communications. You can think of communication in a lot of different ways, but I think about it as verbal and nonverbal communication. I also think about it as active listening. One of the most important things we can do as educators is have tremendous active listening skills. I think that's one of the most important things that we can have. Our students have a lot going on. I could tell you, I'm sure, and you guys all know, millions of stories of students with different things happening in their personal lives and how those things actually affect them in school. I always use an example. I have one student that I spoke to who was a GED student here who would work 2 doubles every Saturday and Sunday. So she was able to take classes here at Mercer, earn her GED, and also be able to have time with her children and her family as well, too. I was active listening, and listening to that student is a key soft skill. We have a few more left. Work ethic and self-motivation. I always think of motivation as intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Why are we doing this? What is motivating us to do this? What motivates our students? Is it intrinsically? Is it something that's in them? Or is it extrinsically? They need to make more money. They need to have upward mobility. But work ethic and self-motivation are key soft skills. And I put them together because they are related to one another and they feed off of one another. Same with flexibility and adaptability. in the book, I talk about something that happened to me many, 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 many years ago when I worked at ShopRite, and I was a cashier, and the manager came up to me. His name was Lou, and he said, "Hey, Ray, no one showed up for the produce department today. Would you work in the produce department?" And I said, "Absolutely. I think that would be great." I was flexible. I was adaptable. I was able to move from one job task to the other. While I was in there, he asked me to do some other tasks for the produce department. Of course, I was able to do that. I was flexible and I was adaptable. It helped my employer, but I also showed that I had great soft skills to do that. And that's just an example of flexibility and adaptability. Teamwork, building a team, and being a member of a team is very, very important. Teamwork makes the dream work. Whether you're in a team at a community college where I work, or you're on an actual sports team, or you're on a team at work in another position, being a good teammate is key. And as a father of children who played multiple travel sports and driving around all of the tri-state area, I can tell you that learning teamwork and learning how to be a part of a team is key for our students. It's very, very important. And that translates from being a team in the classroom to being a team at work to having your team at home. That is a key soft skill. And finally, problem solving. I had a little bit of fun with the posting the fellow doing the math teacher doing trigonometry, geometry, or whatever it was. I have no idea. Like I said, I failed geometry twice, was an English major. Um, Problem solving is key, and how our students are able to solve basic problems is very, very important. A great example is I went to get my oil change, and when they went to put the oil in my car, the guy who was working there said, "You know, we have a little problem. We ran out of oil in that oil drum, but we have another oil drum that we're going to connect to." And I said, "Oh, that's great." And I'm thinking, well, how does this relate to problem solving? I'm thinking to myself, the manager had to help him do it. The manager had to help that individual do that. We have to be able to empower our students with great problem solving skills. And I think that's, along with teamwork, one of the more important soft skills that we can teach our students. So I thought about these 10 soft skills. I had about 20 of them listed initially. And then I started to think about what are the 10 that I believe are most important, and what are the ones that hiring managers or supervisors. I was really shocked about it. Attendance as a soft skill. What do these individuals really, really want and need? And what can we explain and teach to our students as we're teaching GED math, as we're teaching ESL, as we're doing that? And that's why I think that these 10 soft skills are really important. But I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. Get it? Dive a little bit deeper. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for smiling. I appreciate it. And I did that. And I wrote another book about leadership in an AI world. Okay. Hint, hint, 5-star rating. It's on Amazon. And I found this gentleman. His name is Daniel Goleman. And Daniel Goleman is the godfather of emotional intelligence. He actually coined the phrase and popularized the phrase emotional intelligence. He authored a great book in 1995 about emotional intelligence and why it can matter more than IQ. But what really resonated with me was this quote. And he said, in a high IQ job pool, soft skills like discipline, drive, and empathy mark those who emerge as outstanding. I'm going to go a step further and say, in any job pool, soft skills like discipline, teamwork, flexibility, and adaptability mark those who emerge as outstanding. And Daniel Goleman is a professor at NYU. His book is amazing. I recommend it to everyone. And he came up with these 5 tenets of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, which is understanding your emotions and triggers. And that self-awareness is huge for our students. Self-regulation, managing those emotions, them staying composed under pressure, motivation. What motivates our students? Is it internal drive? Is it purpose? How about resilience? You could be motivated to do anything that you want, but if it doesn't happen for you, are you resilient to continue to move forward? Empathy, understanding and valuing others' perspectives. We've lost that a little bit in this day and age, but empathy is key to the success for our students. And finally, social skills, building relationships, communication. These are key, key, key. And if you notice, these 5 tenets of emotional intelligence really, really touch on a lot of soft skills. So now we're putting together emotional intelligence and we're putting together soft skills. So I decided I love Goleman. I want to be just like him. So Goleman and Agliana, perfect together. Goleman says emotional intelligence separates good leaders from great leaders. It separates good employees from great employees. And emotional intelligence, you can think about that analogy in any way. I also came up with AI is replacing our technical and routine skills. The human advantage is emotional intelligence. And these soft skills that we took for granted growing up are now power skills. So AI is able to do all of these great things. It can do Excel spreadsheets. It can process information. It can do all of these wonderful things. But what it can't do is be a great leader. It can't feel empathy. Okay. And it can't build trust. No matter how much you talk to ChatGPT, it can't do any of those things. So Goleman talked about emotional intelligence. I started thinking about relating them to things in my life. So things like self-awareness and reading the room, self-regulation and grace under pressure, motivation and leading with a purpose, empathy and building trust, and social skills with being able to communicate and to connect with others. So we know that adult students face unique challenges in adapting to the classroom and work environments. And usually at this point, I go into this whole big thing that I wrote for my capstone at Rutgers, and we talk about how we can bring these things into the classroom, these soft skills into the classroom. Unfortunately, we only have a half an hour, so we're not able to do that. But I want you to just take a moment and think for a second, how can I bring some of these soft skills into the classroom and work with my students? How can I bring them into work with me every day and work with my colleagues? How can I be a better and more active listener? How can I be a better problem solver? How could I be a great part of the team, whether you're a leader on the team or you're a member of the team? How can I be a great employee leader? How can I do these things? And how can I show these and mentor my students to do those as well while I am teaching ESL, while I am teaching GED? So some of these challenges are not just academic, and we know that. Many of these challenges are real life challenges, challenges that our students face with jobs, with families, with stress, and with past experiences with education. And I do forget sometimes our students' past experiences with education. And when you look at an adult ed class, you may have someone in there who was a doctor in the country that they came from. You may have someone in there who is illiterate in their home language. You may have a GED class where there's someone who recently dropped out of high school and they're 18 years old. Or you may have a GED class that also in that same class has someone who decided that, hey, at the age of 70, I want to earn my GED. So you have this wide variety of educational experiences in an adult education class, and soft skills can help with our students and also help with teaching. So soft skills plus emotional intelligence, I think I've talked about this enough, equals successful students. They bring us better outcomes at school, better outcomes at work, and better outcomes at home. and I practice some of these at home. My wife still doesn't like me that much, but I think it's better than it was before, thanks to my active listening and soft skills. Finally, I have a podcast. I just started dropping some episodes all about soft skills, and eventually I want to have some really cool guests as well. Right now, we're learning about each of the 10 soft skills. And because you've been so great and so patient and so wonderful, if you take a shot of this QR code, you will get a free copy of the Skillful Living Now Lead Human book. And eventually, as I'm working on trying to figure out how to use technology, you also get a Saturday morning newsletter. So thank you all for being here. Hopefully everybody take a second that they're able to scan my QR code. If you want me to go back, I can. But we're at the stage now with only 4 minutes left. I can't believe I only talked about soft skills for 26 minutes. If anyone has any questions, I'm ready.
All right, thanks, Ray. So I dropped the link for the PD certificate in the chat, and I'll get the PowerPoint from Ray, and I'll also send out the PowerPoint to everybody after the conference. And Catherine's got a question, it looks like.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Hi. Yeah, I can't access the chat. Like I try to open it and it just keeps closing.
Oh no.
I'm not sure why that would happen. Um,
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's all right.
It's open here, yeah. Okay. All right.
Any other soft skills questions? Eric's here, can answer questions. I'll put you on the spot. Can answer questions if you want to be on the board of New Jersey All. Anything at all? I can't believe we have 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what's the best place to get training for soft skills?
That's a great question. So there are a lot of soft skills programs out there that, and I'll go back to this and nobody took a picture to it. There are some books out there about soft skills besides mine. I mean, I'm trying to think, Bernie, we used one here at Mercer that I can't remember what the name was. What we did at Mercer that was really cool, we did for our GED students and ESL students is before I started working here, I had made a soft skills class. We put that together and we give it to all of our ESL and GED students. And I actually taught a class on how to create a soft skills class. And it was inexpensive to make. It was just my time. I recruited some of my friends. And what we did here at Mercer for our students was I thought about it as TikTok. And I said, what's a very short hit about soft skills, about each one of these skills? Then I interviewed, and Bernie, now she's from Burlington English, but she used to work here with us at Mercer. Um, I interviewed Bernie. How do you use this particular soft skill? I interviewed a bunch of my friends who own businesses, who do different things. One's a yoga instructor. One is a tremendous triathlete. And how do you use this soft skill? How does it affect you every day? How have you benefited from learning soft skills? And our students love it. We have almost 400, I think, soft skill graduates. So much of this stuff I've researched on my own. There are some other books out there on it. They're also called durable skills. So you can look it up as durable skills as well.
Okay.
Any other questions before I let you guys go to your next
Okay. Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just so how can I access the link if I'm not able to access the chat? If it's not
So
working for me?
for the PD certificate, you can send me an email.
Okay.
Send an email to njallmail@gmail.com and tell me which session you need the PD certificate for.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey Ray, I had actually put a little question in there, but it's 3:30, so it might be fully loaded question for zero time left. But it just wrote about like how to incorporate critical thinking into a grammar lesson.
That's that's really good. And when I looked at, that's a long question. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
do
you
you want
this.
to email me?
You know what? Yes, I would.
Okay,
Would you put your email
sure, sure. I just did this
in the
right
chat?
now. Hold on, I'll put
I
it
would
in
love
right
to do
now.
this. I was going to talk a little bit about how we incorporated, how we try to get our students to incorporate problem solving, and how when we created our class here, we did a couple of different. I know it's 3:31. We did a couple
Sorry.
of different things where we looked at it. We wanted to teach the students soft skills, but we also wanted to teach them how to use a handout, how to use Blackboard LMS. So yeah, send me that, and I'll tell you exactly what we did.
So
Okay, hold
Elizabeth,
on a
I'll
second.
say from my experience, one of the things that I've done that's worked out well with kind of problem solving and works to increase conversation is I will have I'll break my students into groups and give them big piece of chart paper and ask them to design towns. And I give them a handout that says, this is how much a good school costs. This is how much a mediocre school
Ah,
costs. This is how much a library, a pool, a movie theater. And then I give each town a different amount of money. And so then as a group, they have to decide what they're going to spend on in their town.
oh, I like
And
that.
then after it's all done, they can look at another town and go, what the, how come they have 6 libraries and we got 1? And I'm like, yeah, let's talk about that. Why do you think they have 6 libraries and you have 1? Right. And so they have to do the numeracy, they have to prioritize, they have to do all those sorts of things as they're building the town, and they're using English because they're communicating with each other to negotiate that.
I
So
love that. I'm gonna steal that.
it's not stealing,
Yeah,
you're
that's a
just
great
using
idea.
it.
Hey
So
Ray,
okay.
I think there's someone else here. Both of us put our emails in here.
Thank you very much. I will
So
definitely
Thanks.
email you. And Eric, I asked you a question. Will I have access to those emails besides? Because
I'm
now
gonna
I
save
lost
the
the chat
chat.
totally.
I'm gonna save the chat. So
Cool. Thank you.
it should be, yeah, it should be saved. Yep. Yep, I've saved the chat.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Good.
And thank you all
Thanks.
for coming to our soft skills hit today. I really appreciate it.